Hi there, welcome. It's Saturday night and time for another transition update from me, Dale Elena. I am in London in my room, as you can see here again. I've been spending most of the week in Liverpool again. I have 3 more weeks and a little bit in Liverpool to finish off the final episode of the TV show that I'm shooting. We start filming that last episode on Monday, so psychologically get myself ready to do the last push to finish the series off, and that should be really good. Other than the fact that it's November and it'll be cold and wet, probably in Liverpool on the edge of the sea there. So how's my week been? I've been really busy. It's all been kind of crazy, just doing all of the prep work that I need to do to get that show going, and so I haven't really had too much time to think about transitioning and things like that, except while all this goes on, usually, as I alluded to last time, as I get to each sort of last month of my 3-month periods of new HRT prescription, I then get new blood tests which measure my testosterone and estrogen levels and also check my liver and things, make sure I'm healthy. And then I get a new prescription prescribed to me to then carry on into the next 3-month period. So I started HRT in February 20th of this year, and so it's gone by incredibly quickly, and I'm just about to hit 9 months on the 20th of this month, so 11 days time. And today I picked up my prescription through my GP, and it's great now you can do it online. Especially my endocrinologist said that there are no changes to be done on the levels, so all the levels are looking really good. He's happy where my estrogen is, and it's still probably slowly climbing. My testosterone is very low, and I'm starting to feel the effects of that even more, I think. And so now you can go online and just ask for a repeat if it's the same thing, and you can just then go pick it up at a local pharmacy, which is really useful, especially when you're busy during the week doing other things like trying to make a TV show. So still scratchy throat. It's just this keeps on going, this flu that I had. Next time I get a flu jab, I probably should anyway. So what else is happening this week? So that's my kind of main HRT update. My testosterone's nearly zero. My estrogen's around 400, and between 350 to 500 is where they want you to sit to be closer to cis women's levels. So I'm kind of in that range now. So that's really good. Now it's just kind of carrying it on and letting my body adjust and catch up to the fact that those are the hormone levels I have. Big changes at the moment. This is the first darker winter, going into winter period that I've ever had on HRT, because I've always not had it before. And I'm getting kind of paler and paler to the point that I had to go and look at different foundations, which is, I've read about and seen videos of other people who talked about it and didn't think it would really happen. I've always been kind of tan, and I've just gone from a kind of 2 slightly rosy foundation to a 1, so I'm definitely getting a little bit lighter. And I think obviously it's the time of year, there's a lot less light, but my skin's kind of reacting more, going further towards white than it ever has before, which is a change I didn't really expect, but you adjust to, and that's fine. So I'll just be a little bit whiter. And I'm going to New Zealand and where I come from in 3 weeks' time, not 3 weeks' time, for 3 weeks in mid-January. And so I'm a little bit worried there because I'm going to be so pasty and white, and the New Zealand sun is extremely harsh. So I'm just going to have to wear big hats and lots of sunscreen, I think, because otherwise I'm going to get absolutely fried, and I won't know what hit me. I usually can't come back from New Zealand without some sort of tan, because it's just, the light is just coming from all directions and it's extremely bright all the time. So what else is happening at HRT? So that's a big change. Obviously, I'm still slowly losing muscle mass and getting a bit slimmer. I really noticed my neck last weekend felt like it seemed suddenly slimmer, and my arms are definitely getting kind of a little bit smaller. I'm still kind of, I've still got kind of chunkier forearms and things, but I still kind of do things. But overall, my arms are definitely getting slimmer, and I've had a lot of tiredness as well. And it's really hard to know if that's just this lingering flu that I've had, or the HRT doing it. I've been running, but and that's generally pretty good. But I'm certainly not. I don't feel as strong as I kind of did before, like this sort of instant strength that I could have pulled out from wherever it came from. That's sort of not there. Excuse me. So maybe that's HRT, maybe it's just the way it is. So what else is happening? So 3 weeks more filming to go, and then I have kind of a week off where I get myself back together, get my equipment down from Liverpool. I do rent some equipment to the production I'm on, and then and bring my motorcycle back and things like that. And then I really have one more week off. And then I head to Marbella in Spain, where I'm going to get what they could say is FFS, Facial Feminization Surgery, with the Facial team, which is a business of surgeons in Marbella in Spain. They work out of a hospital, a private hospital there, kind of nicely just back off the waterfront, sort of south of the main town. And I'll be with them for 10 days or so. I have a couple of tests for a couple of days, where they just check your blood work and everything like that and go through the procedure again with you, and they just adjust what they're going to do by seeing how you've changed. Maybe another MRI scan to just get your skull shape and things like that, because they try and do a lot of 3D modeling now to kind of see what they're going to do and where they're going to do it, so that when they do the surgery, it's quicker, more simple. They're not guessing. They know exactly where they're going for. They know where the symmetry should be, and that'll be really interesting. I do know someone who I talked to online who's just had some FFS in Marbella with Facial Team, and she really enjoyed the experience. She found it she was really well looked after, and she made some friends in the recovery area that they have, which is a hotel essentially that you stay at with other women who had been going through FFS as well. So overall, she found the experience to be really a joyous one. I'm anxious about it. It's it's a major surgery. It's probably the most expensive thing I've ever just paid for, and I just completed the payment the other day, and I don't think I've ever transferred as much money in one go to anyone before, and that was a little bit like, whoops. But this is what I kind of set out to do this year, was work all year, try and save that money up for what is the most expensive surgery I think you would have as a trans person. Your GRS, gender reassignment surgery, and breast augmentation, things like that are a lot cheaper. So this facial surgery, being plastic surgery, is the most expensive one. And again, I'm not trying to do anything wacky and like end up sort of Catwoman-y and stuff like that. It's just refinements of things that are the tells in your face that would say masculine, and being tweaked just a little bit so that when you see that person you go feminine. And it's funny, it's a lot of things that I've mentioned, people ask me what I'm getting done, and they would go, oh, I didn't even know that was a difference between men and women. And it is those sort of things. It's things that when they're pointed out to you, you go, oh yeah, of course, men have that and women have that, but they're quite subtle. You don't really take it on board and notice them, because they're very much things that people just see and have always seen, and their kind of subconscious recognition of femininity and recognition of masculinity through those little tiny cues that the face can sometimes give you. And people are on a real spectrum. Some women look more masculine, some men look more feminine, and it's about a bundle of those things together, along with your general gender presentation, that then tell a story to someone when you first meet them. And I get misgendered a lot still, no matter what I'm wearing and things like that. I seem to still get that. I got a gentleman on the train who was serving drinks on my way back from Liverpool last night, was constantly asking me, what would you like, sir? And I was a bit like, but he was really nice, and he was busy, and he was just doing his job, and that's fine. And most people are pretty good like that in service industries. They've been very respectful and try to gender me correctly. I think they notice that I'm trying to be gendered correctly, so they do. But yeah, anything that can help me look in the mirror and meet other people who don't know me and kind of put me in the category that I want to be in, is good for me, and it will make me feel better. But at the same time, this is not the be-all, end-all. There might be a time in the future where we just don't care about these things and these cues, and we don't mind if we meet someone and they're a little bit non-specific. They may be presenting more feminine, but their face maybe tells you, well, maybe they're a boy, but then they're presenting really feminine. Maybe I should consider them non-binary, or just stick to they, them pronouns, perhaps. That sort of thing I think is going to become more and more normal as we just give up on the categorization one to the other, the binary in particular, and allow people to just flit somewhere in between. And don't be scared by that either, because I think a lot of people seem to be quite scared of that sort of change, of that lack of categorization. People like things to be understood and known and very clear, and eventually people might have to make an accommodation with themselves to know that it's okay if it's not clear, and if it's not very directly laid out for them how someone is and who they are and whether they're she or he. And maybe that will be a great growth for people to have in general, to just not feel like it's a big problem. And it would be really great if eventually that the need for FFS is a personal one for me. I would like to look more feminine, and I think it will really help my sense of self align physically with who I think I am. And in some ways for me, it's like winding the clock back. If I'd had HRT in my teens, then this is who I would end up looking like. That's what I'm trying to achieve with it, really. So it's not like a kind of like I just want to look hot or something. It's kind of a correction of the past that I've missed out on to hopefully get onto a track that I would have been on had I transitioned when I was much younger. But maybe one day people won't feel the need to have to do that if they are coming out later. I would really hope eventually people are encouraged to come out sooner, and if they're trans, and do something about it earlier on, because I think that's the best outcome, to live your life as fully as possible, as early as possible, and not have the detrimental effects of the wrong hormonal development attack you in some ways. That would be great. If that would be like an ideal world, wouldn't it, where people would transition earlier, and that would be fine, and it would be good, and they would be supported in that. Not too young. I agree with that. I think that some people may not feel, they might be, if they're not sure about their transition or their gender, I think then the good thing is just to be careful a little bit, put a hold on it, and for young people that would be blocking their puberty so that they don't develop either way, and they can just kind of like wait it out a little bit and just kind of understand themselves better, and then maybe transition or maybe not. That's fine. There would be no detrimental effect to that other than a delay. But there will still be people who are older and transition when they're older. Just there's still a lot of fear in coming out and figuring out who you are. Sometimes it takes time. You don't really understand it and don't have the words to express it. Though it might be a case in a great way in the future that people that have come out older and are transitioning don't have the demands put on them where they feel that they need to do these things like the FFS surgery and these major procedures to change themselves to fit into this sort of boxes that we end up putting ourselves into. That said, I think it's a really joyful thing for me. I'm anxious because it's a major surgery. I'm not anxious now because it's expensive, because it's sort of done now. But I'm worried about the recovery. I'm a little scared of pain, as most people would be, and just how long it might take to kind of come back to some sort of new normal. And but at the same time, I'm really, really looking forward to going. I'm looking forward to doing it. I know that it's the right thing for me. Excuse me, I'm very burpy. I've just had some very spicy dinner and it was good, but it's sort of it's hanging around. And I'm looking forward to it. It's 4 weeks from today. I will be in Marbella. It'll be on the 11th. It'll be exactly a month from the actual surgery date. So really, it's going to come along really quickly. I have 3 weeks to film this show, and then 1 week off, and then I'm doing the surgery. So my major goal this year was shoot the TV show I did, Belgravia, for ITV, and then shoot Tin Star, which is to finish that series off with a group of people that I have known for a few years, working on that show in Canada and now in the UK. And then do my surgery, my FFS surgery. So that's kind of like a tick. My year has kind of gone pretty well, I have to say. I've transitioned while at work, and people have been fantastic. I've had so little kind of ill effects of it. I have had so little poor treatment based on being trans. Most people are genuinely interested and curious, if not downright supportive. So my industry is wonderful for that. It's a very progressive industry of people who are we're all a bit of a hodgepodge in the film industry anyway, so we all have to learn how to work together. And so being different in that situation is not that big a deal, really. Everyone's a little bit different in the film industry, and we're all different roles and job titles, and we all mix together and make a team of people that then make a TV show. So we've all learnt, if you've grown up in the film industry, you've grown up learning how to accommodate other people who are different to yourself and working together as well. I've rambled again. Oh, God, I like to ramble. My musical bars are up to 440, so that must mean must be getting over 10 minutes at least now. So I'll let this one go here and promise to look at the camera a little more often instead of looking around as I think this through. I've just sort of done this off the top of my head, so I'm just blabbing. But I hope you had a great week, and here's to another 4 weeks before surgery or so. counting down now, and that's pretty cool. I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks, but hoping to still do at least a couple of these videos before then. I might be a bit quiet afterwards, or I might really be a bit of a journalist about it and kind of show the process so that other people can see what it's like, warts and all, bruises and scars and everything. Grand. So I hope you had a nice week and weekend, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.